Joining me live on News Now to discuss this latest development of the suspension of Niger Republic by the African Union is Bolu Michael-Biyi. He's a former legal advisor at the African Union. He joins live from Toronto in Canada. One welcome to you, Bolu, and thanks for joining us on the news.
Hi, good day, Gbenga. Nice to be here.
Now, Bolu, the African Union's suspension of Niger from the Union has been met with mixed reactions. Can you take us through the process of how they arrived at this suspension? Was it put to a vote? Nigerians aren't really happy about the situation. Ordinary Nigerians seem to be backing the coup leaders from the rallies and from what we've observed so far. What's your take on this suspension by the AU?
Okay, yeah, it's quite foreseeable because, first of all, the Western and Central African region has faced about 7 coups since year 2020, and it's been the same posture by the African Union on the previous situations, because Mali, Guinea, Sudan were suspended in 2001, and in 2002, Burkina Faso followed suit. So it's quite predictable and foreseeable that the African Union would take the same step or stance in suspending Niger, because it's a democratic institution, it's a pro-democracy institution. So any country that doesn't align with the statute and dictate of the African Union will definitely be suspended. Considering other international bodies, the posture of their policies towards Niger, the European Union, for instance, has suspended aid, as well as the United States as well as taking certain sanctions. So it's expected and for the AU to take such step, because if they don't, the question would be why is EU and the US and other international organizations or countries are taking certain steps, but the AU, which houses Niger, is not doing anything. So it's foreseeable that this step was going to be taken. Definitely must have passed through certain discussion, meetings, resolution, and several council meetings before arriving at that.
But critics of the African Union have often argued that the AU is always reactive and they wait for things to really go bad before they react. And from your opening statement, you said the African Union is averse to military government, hence the suspension of Niger. But these critics also say the African Union is not doing enough to address issues on the continent. For example, when there are constitutional coups, when you have civilian leaders that stay beyond their constitutional term limits and adjust their constitution so that they can sit tight, the African Union folds its arms. Do you share that perspective? And how can the African Union be more responsive to the citizens of the Union and not just the heads of states and the leaders of these countries?
Okay. First of all, the African Union has an overarching responsibility, and that's why it has taken some time to take such decisive step, because everything for the certain due process will take some time. And I believe the AU was just trying to see the posture of the regional body, that is ECOWAS, on what's going to happen, the steps they're going to take before they take a position, which I believe strongly it's in order, because there's a regional body where Niger is part of, and also there's a continental body. So I believe that AU was just trying to see what ECOWAS would do, because had the issue been sorted at the ECOWAS level, the AU wouldn't have had the need. There wouldn't be a need for AU to wade in. And now that things are turned the other way, it's just in order for AU to take certain steps as well. As regards constitutional coup, I agree that it's something that has been happening in Africa for quite some time, and it's important for the AU to take similar decisive actions in actually ensuring that does not happen. And I hope that going forward that this is going to be the position as well, not recognizing governments that's contravening the constitution created by the people themselves. It's very important that going forward the AU does that, so that there won't be this comparison between constitutional coup and then a military coup. And the first step the AU could do is to sit down and look at the countries that have suffered constitutional coup and meet the same action. That sends a strong message that do not be tolerated for governments to be extending their tenure beyond their limits. I have the highest minimum regard for the ECOWAS approach in handling the issue, because it kind of contravenes its own statutes of countries.
And also contravenes the African Union's silence in the guns project, because if you're trying to silence the guns, you shouldn't be looking at further threatening military action and invading Niger. Exactly. Thank you so much, Bolu Michael-Biyi. It's a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for your time and insights on the news.